Hey, happy almost end of holidays. How's it been for you?
Oh yeah, it's been crazy family stuff.
Yeah, are that two separate statements, like crazy family and then stuff, or just
All of the things.
yeah, same actually, same dude. So I've been basically mixing this now every day, and it's fantastic. It's exactly what it should be. It's fantastic, man. So tomorrow I have to deliver the mixes to Troy, and then the vinyl guy has to get them done. I learned what I feel I needed to learn about myself from this project. I think the main thing that I came out of this with is I've been afraid of my potential for as long as I can remember, and it was really a hang-up for me. It's put me in a position where I fear success, and what comes with that is just a lack of desire to really go for it. It's like I've always feared what will happen if I really just let it all hang out, which is what I've done on this record.
And what I found is that what happens is that you just become who you are, and that's nothing to be afraid of.
It's been a while since I've had a coffee.
I think it's all connected back to the whole idea of the meditation thing, where there's a part of me that just feels like, man, you have been beating yourself up for so long, and there's no real reason.
But I think a lot of times, not just me, but a lot of people I know, we tend to beat ourselves up just out of habit, and it becomes this weird sort of twisted sense of comfort.
Empath as a record is so absurd, man. It's so over the top in every conceivable way, in personnel, finances, just bloated ways of doing things that I could probably do on my laptop.
But I think it was just the whole thing just seemed just preposterously arrogant on some level. So we just took a bunch of pickaxes and got through it, and now we can move on.
Everybody's sort of the same mindset. They're like, this is the best thing that you could have possibly done. And that scares the shit out of me. But I've just sort of put my head down and gone for it, because the option would be to do nothing. Hey. Oh, I like these. These are nice.
Those are nice?
Yeah. It's peculiar, man. I haven't been listening to the record until I heard it all in one place, because I didn't have an opinion on it. But then when I heard it all in one place, I was like, wow, this is fucking intense, man. Holy shit, dude. Ultimately, it made me really think about, okay, well, what is it that I'm trying to say with this? And I think
I got it. I think, okay, so let me try and summarize it. You know, life is not just one thing. As much as I like to think that it's all peaches and cream and there's no dark in the world, I mean, it's a really hard world, and harder for a lot of people than it is for others, clearly. But I think the whole point of it is you have to get through it. And I think that there's a lot of people that are suffering from depression, and, you know, I go through it as well, and there's people who are really close to the edge in a lot of ways, and I think that almost as a statement, it's like, well, we can't give up. We can't surrender to our own internal dialogue of self-deprecation and feeling like we're not worthy of love or anything. And ultimately, music and the role of an artist as a creator, I mean, it's not about the artist. It's not about any of us that make art. It's about recognizing the beauty that is everywhere and everything, and using our own tools and biases and you know, the people that we're fortunate enough to have in our life to be able to actualize this stuff almost as a way of saying thank you, as a way of representing some sort of sense of gratitude for the whole absurdity of being a human being at this particular time in history. It's important to me as well to try and make statements about creative freedom, especially in an industry right now that doesn't seem to have too much of a platform to encourage that. And ultimately, this is just another project. It's just another record in the thousands of records that will be released by people this year. It's just one of them. And maybe that's the hurdle that I felt I needed to go through, is just making peace with the fact that our identity isn't our work. It's just what we are fortunate enough to be able to represent. And empathy is really important, because it's easy to say that you don't understand why other people feel the way they do. But I mean, there's a perspective to it all, right? Like, everybody is fighting a battle, and to not sort of spend some time sort of putting yourself in other people's shoes just ends up to such divisive degrees, to the point where we find ourselves just at an impasse. I had a friend tell me at one point during this process something I thought was great, that perhaps the meaning of life is to just love and be loved. And I thought that was just wonderful, just a perfect thing, because on the surface that sounds maybe a little flowery, but the further you get into it, the more you realize that it's one of the hardest possible things, because it requires forgiveness and also difficult degrees of compassion. For once, I think this is great. It was the most intense thing I could do and the most intense feelings that I had, but ultimately it doesn't matter. And I think that's what I'm trying to leave people with, is the sense that it's absolutely a phenomenal thing that ultimately is of no real significance. I think it will be one of the best things I've ever done for myself on a artistic and emotional level is go through this, because it's been so frightening.
That's wicked.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for the call again, man. This one helped.
I think it was a really cool idea on your part to sort of document this entire creative process. I think it's kind of unique.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Anyway, how you doing, man? You okay? I'll stop the recording now.